Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Lighthouse Sessions. Today, it's a solo episode. You get to hang out with just me. And the reason there's two. One, we're coming up to the end of season one. So I'm going to do a bit of a countdown, a bit of a recap. And two, we're revamping our guest experience. So we're going to have some brand new guests. We're going to have some repeat guests coming back. But basically, we're just transitioning from season one to season two. We'll take a tiny little break between. You probably won't even notice, but here we go. So today I want to talk about doors. And as you'll see from the visual at the beginning of this, as you'll be able to see at the end, I believe that every business should have at least 4 doors. Or more accurately, the type of business you have will determine the type of door or the quantity of doors that you have. So let me explain. This might seem a little abstract, but the 4 doors that I see for every business, there is a do-it-yourself door. This is the entire model behind large home repair stores like Home Depot, Home Hardware. So do it yourself. There is a market for that. That's door number 1. Door number 2, I'm going to call it done with you. And I'll explain all of these in detail, but I'll go through the doors first. Door number 3 is what I call done for you or concierge access. And then door number 4 is VIP entrance. So the reason I talk about doors is because how people enter our business is how they perceive our business. And for the record, none of the doors are right or wrong. None are better than the others for any other reason other than they fit what they fit best. So for the business you have, you need to make sure you have the right front door. And by the way, you can have multiple front doors, but know when you're marketing, when you're promoting, people will only enter one door. So you want to make it clear this is where you enter. So I'm fascinated. And the reason I talk about doors is I've literally seen people who are building businesses and they have all kinds of fancy infrastructure. They've got a team in place, but they don't have a clear offer. So nobody knows how they can actually pay them and come in the building. So some people, they'll leave a window open a crack and they'll assume people figure it out. Some people do other things, but basically we need to be clear on who the entrance is for and what they're coming through that entrance to do. So I'm going to rant a little, but basically people come to me all the time saying, Jeff, I need more clients. I need more clients. And I'll push back and say, well, what's your goal? Do you actually need more? Do you want better? Do you want more of the same, more of a different class? And generally speaking, most people haven't done the strategy work to figure out exactly who they want to serve. So when you're vague on who you serve, the default is I want more. So I'm not saying more or better. They're different tools. Now, depending on the type of business, more is the right answer. When you're building a certain other type of business, better is the answer. So most people come to me and say they want more. I believe them. I believe that they think they want more. I don't judge, to each their own. But basically what we look at is we need to know which doors we have because that determines the business that we're building. So we'll go through the doors and I'll share some common things and ideas. So every business decision, any major business decision, must recognize who you bring in and how you serve them. You can't get around it. In magnetic marketing, Dan Kennedy talks about the 3 M's of marketing. We need to know who the market is. That's who do we serve. We need to know the message, what are we doing for them? And we need to know the medium, where do we reach them? And believe it or not, we seem to have gotten away from the fundamentals. We're getting more and more noise on LinkedIn. We're getting noise on other social platforms. It's harder and harder to be heard if you're trying to shout. So my goal in life is to whisper in the ear of the right person. You cannot say the right thing to the wrong people, and you can't say the wrong thing to the right people. So I've tried to fight this concept. I thought, nope, people are smarter than this. It felt elitist to rank and sort people, but the reality is some people, they want to figure things out on their own. So if that's your business model, you need to give them the path. Some people just want it done for them. Again, if that's your business model, you need to have that path. So I'm going to surrender and accept that we have to give the customer what they want. There's an old saying that people don't really understand what they need. They want to buy what they want, and it's up to us to deliver and fill the gap. So our customer, the one we decide to serve, determines our growth potential. So back to the 4 doors. Do it yourself is a great model if you have something that can do high volume with low marginal cost to add new customers. So software as a service is perfect for the do-it-yourself world. The do-it-yourself business model tends to rely on high volume acquisition and retention. Those are the 2 things you must have. You need a high volume of new traffic coming in, and you need to have a system in place to retain that traffic. So it works great for software. Unfortunately, a lot of professional service firms try to offer high-end services to do-it-yourself people. And there's always a clash because there's always somebody who says, well, what if I did it myself and you just checked it? So those are different clients. And for the record, you need to have a different offer for them. Now, as depending on your business model, if you're a professional service firm and you want to be high end, you're probably not going to have a do-it-yourself door. Now, if you do have a do-it-yourself door, it needs to be something that doesn't consume the one resource that your high-level service depends on, human capital. So a good do-it-yourself model for a professional services firm is workshops, workbooks, worksheets on how to do the things themselves. Now, for the record, a lot of people say, well, I don't want to cannibalize my income by teaching people how to do what I do. You're not teaching them everything you know. You're teaching them what they need to know to do what they think they can do well. Honestly, in my experience, a lot of these people, they try it, they run into the headaches. Next thing you know, they're coming and they want to hire you. So there is a do-it-yourself model for even professional services firms, but think of it more as community outreach and education. It has to be completely separate from your regular business, because the last thing you want is a do-it-yourselfer asking your professional staff 1,000 questions because they don't know, they haven't spent the years learning the skills. They're looking for a shortcut. Now, in my experience, do-it-yourself is almost always price sensitive, and it's a grind for high volume. So, like I said, works great for software. You got to be really careful with professional services. The second door is the done with you. And this is the most common arrangement I see in a lot of professional service firms, especially accounting. The done with you part, I've seen many accountants, they rely on free labor. So they'll get their clients or their spouse to do their own bookkeeping, and then the accountant will do the year-end compliance work, file the tax return, etc. Now, this model works, and a lot of people use it. Here we need moderate level of client volume, and as long as we can retain them, we can charge average prices. Now, the key word here is average. In the done with you model, we are always competing on price because we're getting the client to do a lot of the work. They feel like they're part of it, therefore they underestimate what you actually do. Now, the key to the done with you model and the key to making it work is you have to have clear boundaries and you have to make sure the client is part of the process and has a stake in delivering outcomes. Think of this as a partnership. The client does the books, keeps them accurately. The accountant files the tax return. There is a partnership there. Now, in my experience, clients do the books badly, which means extra work for the accountant. So it might seem a little bit backwards, but you're actually better off offering or pairing with a professional bookkeeper. A good bookkeeper will make it easier for an accountant to get the year end done. So it might seem a little bit strange, but in this case, I generally recommend, if I'm an accountant and I'm talking to a client, I recommend that they fire the spousal bookkeeper and they bring in a professional. I have never once regretted it. Every single time I get better quality records, faster, more accurately, and then you can do the year end much better. So think about what your clients can do and what they can't. So with the age of modern tools like cloud accounting, client portals, there's a lot we can have the clients do, but remember that this is not their main business. Their main business is not providing data to us. We'd rather help them spend more of their time doing what they're good at, and we can help them. Now, my favorite door, one of two, is the done for you or the concierge service. Now, this takes a very different type of client than the other two because there are always somebody out there who just says, you handle it. These are the people I prefer to work with because I'm the expert. I know what I'm doing. One of the services I offer is ghostwriting. I would rather take somebody's ideas and write the book than have them try and write the book with me. It's literally painful for both of us. It's slow and there's a lot of back and forth. So for me, at the concierge level, professional services get very interesting. Clients are willing to pay higher fees for a premium service. I'm not kidding. I've seen offices where they have an executive entrance where their best clients come in a different door than everybody else. It's not elitist. It's meant to signify status. So if you have that capacity, and again, all they did, it was the exact same office space, but they had a separate entrance. There was no naming on it, so random people didn't walk in, but it was a nice professional office. It was a little higher grade furniture, but it was for their elite clients. So literally all they did is at the back of the office, they put in a side door with a nice little reception area and a very executive looking office. Now, if you went down the hallway from that executive office, you went out into the main area. But basically, if people are paying a premium, they don't want to sit and wait. They don't want to have to do the things that a lot of them do. And to be blunt, sometimes a premium service is you go to them. And the key is they pay you enough, it's worth it. So what I love about the concierge is we can earn a really good profit with a low volume client base. Family offices are a very good example of this. Now, the reason I like the concierge is it's not how do I get this done? How much can I do? How cheaply? It's what else can I do to add value to the client? So for me, the concierge requires a little bit of creativity, and quite frankly, it's fun. Now, the fourth door is the VIP entrance. I talked a little bit about that in the concierge. Really, truly, the two can blend. So maybe it's not two separate doors, but maybe it is the other door. Now, when you are looking at your business and when you're looking at the decisions you make, a VIP service is very elite and you're getting the best of the best for clients. And at this level, they value you and they pay you a premium for your expertise. They want you thinking about their challenges. They want you working on their opportunities. They're willing to pay for that. And the difference in my mind between a concierge and a VIP, the concierge, you're looking more at getting tactical things done with a bit of strategy built in. Whereas for me, the VIP level is almost purely strategic. So this is where the true family office can sit. They're not there to make sure you file your tax return. They're there to make sure that their clients have advisors who can do the work. So they're basically the coach or the conductor of the business. So in business, there are other doors we can offer, but those are the most common ones. Really, truly, I want you to think about if you're going to offer more than one or two doors, how does that affect your business? Now, the reason I talk about doors a lot is because most people don't understand they have one door and they try to bring in everybody. That is a recipe for disaster because at the do-it-yourself level, you'll get scope creep all day long. You'll end up being busy answering questions when you should be busy delivering results. So knowing which doors you have determines the business model you set up. And for what it's worth, I usually recommend you have 3 doors, 3 common doors, and you let people decide which door works for them. So how does this apply to me? How does this apply to business? I run a project I call the Easier to Refer system. And one of the things we do is we build 3 doors. And we create the upfront content that welcomes people to each door. Now, to be clear, we only build 3 doors if 3 doors fit your business. The VIP entrance is the bonus door that we don't usually talk about, but it will naturally emerge if we have enough good concierge clients. So I'm curious, did this shape how you look at your business? Did it give you any insights or questions? Drop a comment below. Make sure you follow us. Thank you.